For the purpose of a farewell speech, the chair recognizes the Honorable Christine Greig.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please indulge me, colleagues. I'm going to take my mask off for this. And I just can't go through this speech looking like a jockstrap is on my face, so I'm going to take this off too. Oh, thank you, Rep. Green, for that. So, colleagues, as I enter this building and this chamber today, I'm as passionate and humbled as when I first joined the legislature over 6 years ago. Now, as then, I am extremely honored to represent and serve the people of Farmington and Farmington Hills and work on behalf of all Michiganders here in the People's House. So as we continue to navigate the COVID-19 pandemic that is hopefully beginning to subside with the continued efforts of all of us, and Governor Whitmer and her administration and the Michiganders who are doing their part to stop the spread, I am limiting my remarks, although it may not seem that way, so we may use our time to move on with the rest of today's agenda and close out the 100th legislature. But I do invite all of you to read my soon-coming book, From Quadrant to Quarantine. The 100th legislature cannot go without a reflection on legislating and living during a global pandemic and national and state political upheaval. I have been so privileged to work with many brilliant, compassionate, impassioned, and dedicated members of the Democratic Caucus and this entire chamber. And while there may have been many times when we've agreed to disagree, we have always understood our responsibility to perform our duties in the best interests of the people of Michigan. And this legislature, and as this legislature and my time ends, we do have much to celebrate. During the 100th legislature, our nation commemorated the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, finally enabling women to participate in our democracy through the ballot box. When I arrived in this legislative body, there were 17 Democratic women legislators and 10 Republican women. And now, as I exit the legislature, I am proud that our Democratic Caucus has achieved gender parity at 26 women. And women will actually be in the majority of our caucus in the 101st legislature. And it is my hope, my great hope, that my Republican sisters continue to grow in numbers so that we have the unique perspectives of women equally represented on both sides of the aisle. And it's also notable, and I'm going to say this, that I am only, and let me say it again, only the second woman to lead a House caucus of this institution since 1837, when Michigan was admitted to the Union. And it is with tremendous pride that I now transition our caucus leadership to the third woman in our history, Leader-elect Donna Lazinski, who I know will continue this important work and lift all caucus members and staff along the way. In addition to our gender diversity, our caucus's diversity includes race, ethnicity, religion, age, professions like teachers, firefighters, and small business owners, and of course, all the many things that Rep. LeGrand recuses himself from. Let me highlight just a few other things, too. With regards to age, our caucus members range from in their 20s to their 60s, and everything in between. We have the first Armenian-American female representative, Mari Manoogian, first Hindu-American representative, Padma Kupa, who is also the first Indian immigrant elected to this legislative body. We celebrate the diversity of our caucus as it reflects the diversity of our constituents and state and the values upon which this country was founded. This diversity brings a wealth of perspectives, life experiences, and talents to our state. Now, when you're in the minority, it presents enormous challenges. Despite your best efforts, many obstacles do impede your party's agenda. But we've passed bipartisan legislation such as expungement, auto insurance changes, the K-12 budget, and pretrial incarceration reforms. And today, the COVID relief supplemental and the unemployment insurance extension. And that's really good. That's great. But we also had a tremendous opportunity to work more collaboratively and to pass much more bipartisan legislation that put the people of Michigan and their health and well-being of their families first. And sadly, I feel we didn't do enough. But when you're in the minority, you focus your caucus efforts and resources to make the biggest impact where possible. And I am forever indebted to our caucus members and staff who dedicated their talents, time, and expertise to create the first ever diversity, equity, and inclusion program and director position. We did professional development programs and support for our incredible staff to enhance their knowledge and skills. We brought new technology to the caucus and campaign, which, if you know anything about me, is I am a technology geek at heart, so this was also very therapeutic for me as well. But of course, I will note that the WHIP app, not so good. Sold to us as innovative and helpful. I think we probably should have recalled it. You know, but on a more positive note, the implementation of member training and support, along with other technologies, and that includes casework, all the legislative walks we did, our first Caucus Detroit Walk Day, texting and virtual town halls, coffees and updates, all of those things strengthen our constituent communications and outreach efforts. And even before the pandemic, we actually knocked more than 145,000 constituent doors in 2019 before the pandemic hit in early 2020. We also implemented many state-of-the-art communication platforms and technologies to help inform and engage our constituents even more effectively. And Rep. Clementi, thank you so much for your support in getting all of those done. Appreciate it. So these milestones and accomplishments require the collective and individual talents, commitment, and expertise of many, many caucus members and staff, whom I am forever grateful to. Change is difficult, especially in a space of tradition, but we have made great progress. And there is always a learning opportunity in every new innovation, opportunity, or challenge to expand your knowledge or sharpen your skills, whether we wanted to learn and grow or not. For me, one person who immediately comes to mind when I think of one particular nightmare interview is, of course, Tim Skubic. He's a veteran hard news guru that taught me to stick to sports analogies like goalposts and end zones, rather than using otherwise benign words like extreme. To my mentors and role models, Gilda Jacobs, Winnie Brinks, Gretchen Driscoll, Sarah Roberts, and Pam Ferris, you supported me with your encouragement, wise counsel, and fierceness, and inspired me to take this leadership journey. Thank you so much for your confidence in me. Tim Greimel and Sam Singh, thank you for your friendship and leadership. I've learned so much from both of you. And to our grassroots tribes, Femmes for Dems, SWIM, our local Dem clubs, Moms Demand Actions, our PTAs, your work every day to bring good governance and accountability back to this chamber, back to this state is inspiring. Please, please never stop. And our sergeants among the finest law enforcement officers who place our safety and security as their top priority. And I am sorry to say, but no, actually not really very sorry, Rip Liberati, but Chief Dixon said he would take a bullet for me. All the Capitol staff and clerks, particularly Clerks Randall and Brown, thank you for keeping us all on track and ensuring our legislative protocols were followed with all the T's crossed and I's dotted. You are the backbone of this institution. Reps Hoadley, Wittenberg, Pagan, Gadagnogo, Love, Garrett, Byrd, Guerra, Liberati, and Shurkin. We've spent the last 6 years serving together in the minority. I will miss all of you and regret not joining the late night party action a little more often. Rep Hoadley and Senator Moss, I will never forget the first day I met each of you. Here I go. And had tears in my eyes. You are role models for everyone, but especially for the LGBT community. That includes my sons. This mother thanks you. And John, you are an incredible approach chair. One of the best decisions I made was to have you lead and transform our approach to budgets. And I thank you, and remember that Kalamazoo may just become my second home. Rep. Wittenberg, you've been an amazing friend and confidant, and I can't wait to see you in action as my county treasurer. And Rep. Pagan, thank you for partnering with me to encourage more women, younger people, and people of color to run for office. I truly hope our collaboration continues. And Rep. Churkin, I sometimes wonder if you got through that commemorative Seagram's bottle I gave you. But after listening to your farewell speech, I'm sure you did. And probably with Rep. Liberati. And Rep. Guerra, thank you for always being up for whatever I asked of you, some of them not so fun. You are a true leader and public servant, and you're going to make a great county clerk. And to my Detroit colleagues, Rep. Love, I will always remember the fun I had hunting for ladybugs and attending your Superman premiere. And thanks for getting me to a Sportsman Caucus event. I shot my first firearm, that poor turkey target. It was fun, though. Rep. Gay Dagnogo, I fondly remember attending your Strong Women Lead event and being moved by the strong women you surround yourself with. And I can't wait to watch you in action on the Detroit School Board. And Rep. Garrett, the strength and grace you show every day while serving here and being a mom is inspiring. And Wendell Bird, I love you. The times you've told me I'm doing a good job really got me through some tough days. And to our younger emerging progressive leaders, Whip Darren Camilleri, Policy Chair Abdullah Hammoud, Assistant Leaders Bolden and Kolazar, Caucus Chair Anthony, Campaign Board Member Mari Manoogian, thank you for being on my leadership teams, and much thanks for bringing your passion, strong voices, and savvy social media skills to our caucus. And for all our 2018 FLIP frontline members, Reps. Whitwer, Hadsma, Manoogian, Kolazar, Kupa, and Pahutsky, I'm so very proud of your work and your service to your communities, and excited for all of you to start your second term. Reps. Crawford, Yarrick, Vaupel, and Government Ops Chair Shepard, I have really enjoyed working with you. And Kathy, I'm sorry I missed 4 years of being your hobneighbor. We would have had a lot of fun over there. Rep. Yarrick, I'm sorry I didn't make it to the back more often. You are a good man and a good legislator. And Hank, I'm sorry we couldn't get B Corp over the line while we were here. And Speaker Chatfield. Some may joke about all the open letters I wrote you, but you know, when we only have 15 minutes together every week, it gets a little tough to really tackle some complex issues. But I really do appreciate the times you reached out to work on issues on which we could find common ground. And I have always been so impressed with your accomplishments at such a young age. At 32, I only had 2 kids and owned a small business. To see you serve as speaker, amass millions of dollars in those gazillion number of PACs, and to be a dedicated, faithful husband and father of 5, well, sometimes that just blows my mind. Maybe it was that second ANCUS I gave you that helped you prod and guide your caucus members. Well done. And of course, I have to remember my good friend Julie Plawecki. I miss her friendship, grace, strength, and love that she brought to this chamber and this world. And I'm so lucky to have continued our relationship by working with 2 of her incredible daughters, Representative Lauren Plawecki and, of course, Rachel Plawecki as my deputy legislative director. I'm so thankful we were able to get Julie's Memorial Highway passed last week. And to Isaac, we miss you, and we know you are organizing protests in the hereafter. And to John and Pete, we miss the life and laughs you brought to this chamber. You know, as leader, your vision is only realized when you have a talented and dedicated team who contribute their unique expertise, skills, and are willing to do whatever is necessary to help us succeed. I am forever grateful and awe-inspired by our incredible communications, policy, member services, and campaign teams, and thank you for all you have done to help me and to help our caucus. To my senior staff, Chris, Renee, Nathan, Aaron Keel, Christine, Coffee Ann, Marilee, and Ben, thank you for helping make my vision a reality and for your willingness to bring change and your complete dedication to this caucus. And to those who have served in my office over the last 6 years, Heidi Zabik, Teo Moss, Sarah Shilio, Shara, Aaron, Delwan, Taylor, Chad, and Lydia, thank you for helping me serve my constituents in my caucus. And of course, special thanks to Ryan Seabolt. Who could ever forget that night when he put his job on the line defending the values of our caucus? I could watch that recording over and over. You know, on a special note of gratitude to Chris, Renee, and Nathan, thank you for being my advisors, confidants, and friends during these last 2 years. I'll miss the three of you as my team and individually, more than words alone can express, and more than you will ever know. Nathan, thanks for teaching me about filing briefs and for teaming with Sam Bagenstas to bring our voice to the debates in court. And Chris, the dedication you have for serving and guiding staff is absolutely incredible. And thanks for reminding me to try to have fun at this job. Renee, I am so honored to have been your rep and to have you work with me to build a stronger, more diverse, innovative, and focused voice to our caucus communications. Our caucus communication changes were absolutely transformative, and I'm also so happy to call you my sister and my friend. Thank you. Our historic traditions and protocols of this chamber have and continue to serve this institution, yet there comes a point in time, like right now, when preserving our traditions must not impede our ability to evolve and meet challenges of the moment. And when we add a pandemic to the mix, our shortcomings are even more exposed. I know you knew I had to get to this at some point, but it is absolutely imperative that remote participation is adopted to ensure the critically important work on behalf of the people of Michigan continues without interruption, and members of this chamber do not jeopardize the health and safety of themselves, our loved ones, and staff in order to perform our sworn duties. And in the 101st legislature, it is my hope, it is imperative that firearms are prohibited in the Capitol. Every effort must be made to ensure the safety of members, staff, and visitors, including the tens of thousands of school children that come through this Capitol. And we have to make sure that our legislative process is free from armed intimidation. We must open our eyes, hearts, and minds to address the prolonged and pervasive racial inequities in our state and country. Our responsibility as legislators requires us to use our authority to create laws that ensure all Michiganders are respected and provided the same opportunities to build the life they desire and deserve. And in addition to racial justice, we must address environmental justice, access to affordable health care, pay equity, and livable wages. One job really should be enough. And of course, education equity. That's what brought me to Lansing in the first place. When I saw children and educators across the state, especially in our urban and rural areas, not getting the resources they needed to succeed, I knew I had to run. It's one of the biggest regrets of mine that I wasn't able to work more on education policy reforms over these last 6 years. But from policy to culture, we must move away from backroom deals and swaps and return to honest civil conversation and compromise. Because the people of Michigan deserve nothing less, and the rich history of this institution requires it. We must change the transactional culture to a culture of compromise, when we are always horse trading for votes rather than compromising on the policy itself. The people of Michigan lose. Following one of the most challenging election cycles in recent memory, it is time we remember that we are Americans first and must return to civility to our political discourse and place Michiganders at the forefront of our policy agenda. I encourage you all to read The Purpose of Power, How We Come Together When We Fall Apart by Alicia Garza. It discusses how we build transformative movements to address the challenges of our times. Power should not be used to punish. You could say actions are just political and shouldn't be taken personally, but when those in power threaten retribution or incentivize members with bills, both legislative and dollars, you are being personal, and it's wrong. We have members that have worked tirelessly for 2 years to end illegal dumping, give tuition assistance to children of first responders who lost their lives, and to increase resources to food banks. Those were shut down. You should never say, if you don't vote for this, you can kiss your bill goodbye. It's not right. We have to lift up this institution and each other. Power is an incredible tool, but you must use it with purpose and good intentions. Rep. Luzinski, my sincere wishes for your success as you lead this amazing caucus. It is both historic and extremely rewarding to transition leadership to another accomplished woman. And Floor Leader Robbie, as you continue as floor leader in the next legislature, I'm sure your unending passion to protect the environment, ensure all Michiganders have a voice, and help members accomplish their legislative goals for their constituents will continue and will be invaluable. And as I close, it has truly been an extraordinary honor serving the residents of the 37th District. Growing up in rural Indiana with 11 brothers and sisters, Marlene, Mike, Dana, Mark, Greg, Chris, Steve, Doug, Kent, Janice, Lauren, Matt, my parents taught us all to be honest, hardworking, dream big, and be compassionate, and to always look for the good in others. And I hope that I've made my parents, siblings, and my 3 sons proud. I also hope that my caucus members are proud of our accomplishments. I love this chamber, and I love this state that I have called home for nearly 30 years. Michigan has an amazing diversity of race, religion, life experiences, and perspectives that surrounds all of us. It is our challenge as lawmakers and human beings to see the good in everyone and try to craft policy that helps achieve a more perfect union, not policies and priorities that take away or diminishes the humanity of anyone. So today is the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. So how fitting that all the days after today are going to get longer and lighter, bringing us into a new and better world and better days. So I want to leave you with a quote from Congressman John Lewis. You are a light. You are the light. Never let anyone, any person, or any force dampen, dim, or diminish your light. Release the need to hate, to harbor division, and the enticement of revenge. Release all bitterness. Hold only love, only peace in your heart, knowing that the battle of good to overcome evil is already won. Although the 100th legislature is complete, our work is far from over. Thank you, everyone. Have happy holidays, a blessed 2021, and God bless you all. Thank you.